Top three, Geelong. I'll let Pilch. Actually, I'll let Rowie go through Geelong. I don't know what to say for Geelong.
Yeah, I mean, coming into this year, I expected them to be the premiership favourites. I think their list was incredible, especially given their off-season acquisitions. But yeah, all in all, obviously they finished third and all that, made the prelim, got heavily defeated. But yeah, on paper, making it third and to the prelim suggests, they had a very strong season. But, if you read deeper into it, they just collapsed on themselves later in the year. Their game plan was flawed. It was too slow, as we all saw. Melbourne just completely monstered them in that prelim. So yeah, it wasn't ideal for the Cats at all. Their aging list didn't help them. When they obviously thought experience was going to be the way to go this year, and I thought it was going to be the way to go, especially in this final series. Sorry, when there's so much uncertainty, I thought it was going to be the Cats that come away with it. But I was clearly wrong and was happy to be wrong because I hate Geelong. So yeah, it was obviously we all expected them to finish in that top four, and they did. We expected them to make the prelim, and they did, but obviously fell short to a much better team. So MVP for me goes to Cam Guthrie. Obviously one of the players that played a huge role for them this year and could always rely on. Best young player that literally no one. So for once, I'm actually going to wind it back to 1999 to Jack Henry. Obviously a huge player for them, really versatile and all that. Most improved, I'm going to give it to Brad Close. I think at the latter half of the year, he became a pretty important player for them, especially in the last few games. With all the stars running out there and disappointing for fans, I think lots of fans were actually, showing their loving for Brad Close. His ball use was exceptional and really good hands on him as well. So a bit of an unsung hero in those last few games, which they obviously fell short, but I think he was really improved player and cemented his spot in that best 22. But yeah, going to give him a rating of 5 out of 10. Didn't exceed any expectations. But like I said, probably be too harsh to give him below a 5. I think it's pretty harsh to give a team that finished in the top 8 and played finals below a 5. But yeah, unfortunately, I think their time's nearly up. All these play. Look, everyone says that they've done it before. It's happened before, but all these players are going to run out at the exact same time. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with them because it's not like you can go and recruit 10 mature age players in an off season. It's just realistically won't happen. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens in the years to come for them. But for this season, I'm going to give them a 5.
Yeah, I'm actually going to be a bit harsher. I just think if you told me Richmond didn't make finals and West Coast, I would have probably predicted that Geelong's odds would be about $1.20. Like, I just think, and as you mentioned, Roy, in a year of uncertainty, the other teams in the top 5 who are really the only premiership contenders, none of them really have shown themselves to be like proven weapons in finals. I know Geelong haven't really either, but they've had the experience. They've been there enough. I would have thought they would have won the premiership if Richmond and West Coast weren't there. So, yeah, for me, it's probably a 3. They had some bad injury luck, but that's actually just going to happen if you have an old team. Obviously, older players are more likely to get injured. So I don't think you can let them off the hook for that one. But in saying that, I know like Cameron was injured a lot. Danger, don't know if he was healthy at all. And Tom Stewart obviously went down late. Speaking of Tommy Stewart, here's my MVP. Just reckon, I know a lot of people bag him out, maybe saying that like his super coach is just a better reflection of him as a player than what he actually does in the game. But I think that's not true. I think he's actually a really, really good defender. Brandon Parfitt's my best young player. I know no one really gives a shit about Brandon Parfitt with the greatest respect, but I think he's a pretty handy player. And most improved, Jack Henry or Finn Smith, if you look on his Wikipedia. I'm not sure what that is about, but I tell you what, there's some strange things on some of the lesser known players, AFL players' Wikipedias. Like I was on Liam Duggan's the other day, and he is currently a member of Mandalorian FC, which I can only assume is his pro club's team name. Otherwise, I'm very confused as to what that is. Lockie mentioned maybe indoor soccer, which could also be true. But yeah, and then shout out to Brad Close. Rhett hates him for some reason, but yeah, he started picking up votes in a star-started lineup towards the end of the year, which is not an easy thing to do. Pilch, another hater of Geelong. I'm not sure why I keep introducing you like that, but what do you think of the Cats season?
Yeah, Yeah, you boys painted the picture. And as you alluded to, I think it's going to take a lot for them to maintain it next year. Just extremely old list. And as we've seen in the past, when an old team just gets absolutely slaughtered in finals. I know it wasn't a grand final, but the qualifying final, they got smashed. Prelim smashed by even more. We've seen it with Port in 07, the Giants in 2019. The following year, that's it. So I think there's a genuine chance that it happens to Geelong. In terms of awards, I had Guthrie, but I'm actually going to change it to Stewart, copy Corker. I think he's more integral to their team, as we saw when he got injured. Just they kind of fell to shit. Best young player, I avoided the 23-year-olds for this, and there was absolutely no one, so I've given it to Max Holmes. And when you're giving your team's Young Player of the Year award to Max Holmes, I think that paints the picture. Nothing else needs to be said there. And most improved, Jack Henry. He's a gun.
Yeah. I can't believe Jack Henry's turned out to be good. We loved him in his rookie year because he would make some strange faces out there, a bit like Phil Jones of Man United fame. But he's actually a pretty good player. I was just forgotten to mention, like, another reason why I've rated them so poorly is they didn't just lose in a prelim. They got absolutely annihilated. And I don't know, they're just such a frustrating team. Like, Quinton Narkle is an absolute beast. And they just, like, someone like that should be playing every game. Like, I don't care if there's someone like Sean Higgins or something on your squad. Narkle's a better player than him. Just pick him. But anyways, as you guys mentioned, very interested to see what they do in the next couple of years because this strategy definitely has an expiry date.
It's a miracle! Oh, yeah! What about that one? Unbelievable! Balotelli, Aguero! Crowd cheers. Here's Siddle.